Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So, this lecture is for both of my groups. I will go over everything I've explained during the online lecture, all the way over to the last section, which is about the multidimensional array. So, if you got everything, you don't need the first part that I'm going to explain right now. You can skip all the way over to the part we have stopped. If you need to go through the materials again with me, then you can start from the beginning. Okay? So it's your choice. But this recording will cover the rest of the lecture, starting from exception handling to the rest, or to the last slide of this lecture. So we want to go over exception handling again. Throughout the lecture, I have talked about exception handling. And I said that sometimes when we write a code in Java, sometimes you might write like just a second. My son always uses my iPad, and I think he has changed all of my settings. Okay, so sorry about this. Sometimes you will need to, or when you write code in Java, you will write like one line here, second line of code here, third line of code, fourth line of code, and fifth line of code. So this is your code in Java. It's contains 5 lines of code. You are not sure when you reach line 3 and 4 and 5 whether this line will produce an error when the program is executing or not. So because you're not sure whether the program will produce an error, if the program produces an error while it's executing, it means the execution will stop, and it will show you that you have an error. So to avoid this interruption and to avoid the stopping of the program execution, you have a way out by using the try and catch statement. So what's this supposed to mean? It means that this block of code, these 3 lines of code that you're not sure about, that might have produced an exception. Exception just mean an error. So if you're not sure, just place these 3 lines of code inside a try statement. It means Java, please Java, try these 3 lines of code. If these 3 lines of code did not produce an error and it went and executed successfully, then that's okay. If any error occurs while these lines of code are executing, please go and execute the lines inside the catch statement. That's it. So, an exception means an error or a problem that might happen while a program is executing. So you have several lines, and these lines might have produced an error while you are executing the program. To handle an exception, to avoid that the program might produce an error, you can place any code that might throw an exception, the code that you are not very sure about, inside a try and catch statement. What does Java is going to do? It's going to go and try the code inside the try statement, which contains the code that might throw an exception. So the Java will go and try the code inside. If it's executed, that's fine. Successfully, that's fine. If this code have an error or throw an error, then the error will be catched by the catch statement. Catched means that the catch statement will be executed. So that contain the code that handles the exception if one occurs. So بالعربي انت بتقولين حق الجافا يا جافا روح وجرب لي الكود، سوي try، جرب لي الكود اللي موجود داخل التراي. إذا جربت الكود وتنفذ بدون أخطاء خلاص ما عندك مشكلة. لو طلع هذا الكود داخل أخطاء errors then البروجرام بيسوي throw، راح يرمي error. الايرور هذا ايش بيصير فيه؟ الكاتش بلوك تمسكه. it will catch the error. ايش يعني it will catch the error؟ يعني هذا البلوك of code راح تتنفذ. very easy peasy. Let's take an example. So the syntax is try, and then here is the statement or the line of code in the try statement, and here is the catch if there is an error and you want a catch statement to be executed. Always I have a variable here. The name of the variable will always be E, and the variable will always be from the type exception with a capital A. So this is like mandatory in catch. The try and catch statement will always look like this. Okay, so let's go over the example. Here I have defined my numbers, which is an array that has 3 numbers. Let's draw this array. It's called my numbers, like this, and it has 3 elements, 1, 2, 3. The indexes is 0, 1, and 2 of these of the element inside the array. As we said, arrays indexes always start from 0 all the way to the last element in the array. Now, this line over here says system.out.println. Please print for me the go to my numbers, which is the array, and find the item in index 10 and print it for me. The question here, do I have an index 10? No. The last index I have in this array is 2. I don't have an index 10. So this line over here will throw an error, will cause an error. So the program will stop executing, and I will get an error that will say something like this: array index out of bound exception. So out of bound means that I'm asking about an element that is out of bound. So that element does not exist inside this array, or the index you're looking for, which is index 10, does not exist in this array. ما له مكان. الاندكس رقم 10 ما هو موجود اصلا في هذا الاري. الاري تنتهي عند اندكس رقم 2. So instead of having this error producing, I want to have this code over here placed in a try block, and ask the Java, please Java, try this code over here. If it's executed successfully, then that's fine. If it does not, then you are going to throw an error and the catch statement will be executed. So this is what happened over here. We have put these 2 lines, we put these 2 lines inside a try statement. So go first, and I want my numbers. This is my numbers: 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, and 2. And then I'm asking to print the element inside my numbers index 10. I don't have an index 10, so this will throw an error. This line over here will throw an error. Because I'm in a try and catch statement, the program will not execute. No, it will not end. The catch statement will catch this error, and the catch statement will be executed this time. What does the catch statement do? It does whatever you're telling the catch statement to do. So I want to print out that there's something went wrong, whatever that wrong is. Just if there is an error, please make the catch statement to print that there is something wrong, or there is an error, or error occurred, or whatever the statement that you want your program to print. So the program will print something went wrong. Why? Because there was an error that the program just catched. Okay, so if the try statement have an error, then the catch statement will catch that error, and the statement inside the catch will be executed. In this slide over here, it says that you can also use a finally statement inside or with the try and catch statement. What does the finally do? It lets you execute the code after try and catch, regardless of the result. What does that supposed to mean? So it means that whether the try was executed successfully and there was no errors, or whether the try had an error and you had to execute the catch, the things inside the final statement will always be executed. So we know here that I'm building an array that has 3 elements, 1, 2, 3, and I'm asking to print the element in index 10. I don't have a 10 inside my array. So there will be an error. Because there will be an error, the catch statement will be executed in this case, and the program will print something went wrong. So this is the first output, something went wrong. Not just that, notice that you also have a finally here. Finally will always be executed after the try and catch, regardless of the result. So since I have finally, then the final will be executed here. The final will print system.out.print the try catch is finished. So the second line that will be printed is the try catch is finished. Let's imagine that here I don't want to print number at index 10. No, I want to print my numbers at index 1. So do I have an index 1? Yes, I do have an index 1, which means that there will be no error here. This will be executed successfully, and I will print the item in index number, this is index 1, 2. This is index number 2, which means I will print number 2, which is the item in index 1. So there will be no error here. So the try will be executed successfully, which means I'm not going to execute the catch because there was no error to catch. However, the finally will always be executed. So here I will also execute, I will print on the screen the try catch as finished. So finally will always be executed if it's implemented with the try and catch. It's optional. You can put it, you don't need to put it, but it's optional. If you put it, it will always be executed. So I hope this idea is now very clear. We also talked about the enhanced for statement. We said that this is a short version of an upgrade for the for statement that can be used when we have an array to go through the element of the array. And we have seen the syntax. So the enhanced for statement, it iterates, which means to go through all of the items inside my array, element by element, without using a counter. What do I mean without using a counter? So I know that when I use a for loop, I have for example, int I, and then I have a condition, and here I have my counter, which is I, like I plus plus. So this part over here, I don't need it. This counter, the I that I increase it over here, I don't need it in the enhanced for statement. So what does it look like? I have for, and then a parameter, and then just the array name. What is a parameter and what's the array name? So if I have an array and the name of my array is X, and it has 3 elements, and the indexes is 0, 1, and 2. All of the elements are 0. And I want an enhanced for loop to go through this. So for, I'm going to have a parameter. So the parameter, it has a type and identifier. So it has a name. Let's say that the name of the identifier is I, and it's needed data type. The data type always need to match the type of the array. This array is of type int. Then this identifier need to be of a type int. If the element inside array X is of a type string, then this identifier need to be of type string. So this identifier always needs a data type that match the type of a data inside the array looping over. So my array here is of type int. So my identifier is of type int as well. Then two colon, and then the array name. My array is X. That's it. Every time I over here will have one element of this array. So at first, since I have 3 elements, then the array will loop 3 times. Let's imagine that the numbers are not 0, 0, 3, and 5, like this. Okay? So I, at the first time, will have the only thing I want here inside the for loop is just to print I. So I first will have the first element inside X. What is the first element inside X? Is 0. So when I print I, I'm going to print 0. Again, I'm going over the loop again. So next time, I will have the second element inside I. The second element will be 3. So here, when I print it, I will print 3. Go over the loop again. The third and last element is 5. So I'm going to print 5. And because I have no more element here, the 4 will stop. Easy peasy. Let's take an example. So I have an array here. This array, as I said, same as example we've taken through the in-person class. We've talking about an array and how we can loop through all the elements of the array to sum all the value inside this array. So I have defined an array. It's called an array like this. So this is array. It has these elements starting from 87, 68, 49, 100, all the way until the last element, which is 87. The index are from 0, 1, 2, 3, all the way until 9, because these are 10 elements. Okay, the only thing I want to do is sum all the elements. 87 plus 68 plus 94 plus 100 plus until the last number, which is 87. So how would I do that? I will define a variable also called total. This is total. Total now is 0. So total is 0. And then I'm going to start a for loop. For loop, an enhanced for loop. This is the new version of the for loop. Int number, I have defined a variable that's called number. The data type is int because the loop I'm looping over, which is array, the data type of it is also int. This is why the data type of this number is int, because I'm saving inside number in every loop an item from an array. So it needs to be of the same type. So at the first time, number has the first item, which is 87. So 87. Here I'm saying keep or add to the value of total the value inside number. So just sum. What is inside total? Press number. Total is 0. Press number is 87. So now total had the value 87. Again, number now had the second element, which is 68. So 68. I just need you to add number plus the value inside total. Total is 78 plus 68, then it's going to be 155. 5. Again and again and again until I sum the last element inside 87, and the output will be 849. This is exactly the same thing as this code over here, which we tried in the lecture on Monday. Yeah, on Monday. We just tried it into a different way. One with the regular version of the for loop, and one with the short enhanced version of the for loop. All of the two versions will produce the same output, which is the sum of all the elements inside the array, which is equal to 849. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now, passing an array to a method. How do I pass an array to a method? Easy. To pass an array argument to a method, specify the name of the array without any bracket. What does that supposed to mean? So here I'm defining an array of type double. The name of the array is hourly temperature, and it has 24 elements. Okay, so array has 24 elements, so from 0 until 23, and the name of the array is hourly temperature. Then I want to call the method named modify array, because I'm calling a method, then and I want to send the array, then I'm only using the name of the array without bracket. This is what I'm saying here, without using the bracket. So in the method call, you send just the array name without the bracket. Like in the method header, in the method that will receive the array, it will go like this. This is the method that will receive the array. It has a type void, so it does not return anything, and it will receive an array of the same type, double, so it needs to be the same type. I need the two brackets here because I want to specify that I'm receiving an array. To tell the method that I'm receiving an array, then I need these two brackets, and the array will have a name, which is B. Come on, let's take an example. So let's go first over here. I have defined an array. We'll start from here. I have defined an array of a type int, and the array has 5 elements, which is the numbers from 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Always when I'm defining an array, remember that the array will look inside the memory like this. The memory is 2 parts. The heap is over here, and the stack is over here. As we've explained in the beginning of this module, when you are defining an array, the array will always be defined in the heap part. So this is my array. It will be here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. What about the name of the array? The name of the array would be here, like this. So in the stack area, I will define something called array, and this is not just a normal variable or array, it's just a reference. A reference means it holds the address of the array in the memory. Where is the array in the memory? In a place that's called a heap. It's a reference, so it just points to where is this array is located or stored in the memory. So it is just referencing where is this array is located inside the memory. Okay, so how many elements this array has? It has 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is the indexes from 0 all the way to 4. Right. First line, system.out.print, print me formatted text. I want you to print me 2 lines. The first line is effect of passing reference to entire array, then a new line, then the values of the original array are, and then go a new line. Just print these 2 lines for me. Just 2 text. 1 line, go a new line and start over and print another line. Like, and then what? And then we are going to start a for loop. A for loop, the enhanced version of our for loop. Int value, we are going to go over our loop. Our array. Which array? This array that's in the memory. So let's have value over here, which is this one. Notice that the type of value is int, same as the type of the element of the array, because it's going to store 1 element of this array at each time. Now we are looping all the way through the element of the array. At the first time, value will hold the first element of the array, which is number 1. So 1. Here, system.out.print, please print a space, and then print me the value of value, which is 1. Then we go over again. Value now it's 2. Why? Because the second element inside my array is 2. So system.out.print, print the value, which is 2. Don't forget the space. Go over. Value is now 3. See? Value is now 3. Just don't want this line. 3. And print me 3. Go over again. Value is now 4. We're going to print 4. Go over again. Value is now 5. Print me 5. And the loop will stop. Why? Because I've reached the last element in my array, which is 5. So this is the output. Let's check. This is the output. We're printing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is just the element of the array. Okay, now what? Now, there is a method called, please go to the method called modify array and take with you our array. We're passing an array as an argument to a method called modify array. Where is the method? It's over here. Where is it? Where is it? It's here. This is modify array. Sorry. This is modify array over here. It will receive an int array because it needs to be as the same type as my array, and my array is int. I need 2 brackets to tell the method that I'm receiving an array, and I will give it a name. I said this new array will be array2. Here, what is going to be happening? What's happening is not that I'm sending the array itself to the method. So I'm not sending the array itself from here to here. No, I'm just sending a reference, and the reference I'm giving the reference the name array2. So I'm creating another space in the memory. The other space in the memory called array2, and this other array2 has the same value as array1. What do I mean by the same value as array1? It has the same address as the address inside array1, which means it points to the same array. So both of them, array and array2, point to the same space in the memory, so to the same array in the memory. Okay? This happens only when you're using, when you're dealing with the array. So what happens then inside this method? This method goes through a loop. I have a counter. Let's define a counter. The counter at the beginning is 0. As long as counter is less than array2.length. How much is array2.length? Array2, as you can see here, point to the same as the first array. So the first array is 5 elements. So array2 is also 5 elements. So array2.length is just 5. So we are going to go through this loop as long as counter is less than 5. So first time is array2 counter 0. Go bring me the value in array2 space 0 and multiply it by 2. So we are going here. This is the first space at the array2 at location 0. It has 1. Take the 1 and multiply it by 2. 1 multiplied by 2 equal to 2. So I have changed this value. This value is now 2. Again, counter has increased. Counter is 1. Go find me array of 1, the element in array 2 at location 1, and multiply it by 2. So this is the elements. 2 by 2 is 4. It's 4. Again, counter now is 2. Go to the array 2 at location 2 and multiply the element inside by 2. 3 by 2 is 6. So this value is now 6. Again, counter is now 3. Go to array 2 of 3 and change the element inside. 4 by 2 is 8. Again, this is 4. The element inside 4 is 5 في 2 10, so 10. And now the counter is 5. 5 is not less than 5, then the for loop will end. Since the for loop will end over here, so I don't need to stay here anymore, I'm going to go back all the way over here to the line after the method call. What does this line do? System.out.print. I need to print the value of, first, print me this line, which is the value of a modified array, so text. So I have print this text, the values of the modified array, and then print me or use a for loop to print the element inside the array. I have now changed the values of my array. I want to print them again. Just make sure or look or pay attention to the name of the array here. So I'm looping again, starting from value, looping all the way to the element of my array. Which array? This one, the first array. This array, the original array. So I'm looping all the way over of the element of the original array. Since this array and this array point to the same thing, any change in this array will happen to this. Any change in this will happen to this. So I'm now printing the element of this array, the first one, using the enhanced for loop. So first, this is value. System.out.print, print me. The first time I'm going to go through the loop, value will hold the first element of the array, which is 2. So we'll put 2 here. Then go through the loop again. Now value will hold 4. طبعا we are printing, so 2. Value will hold 4. So print the value, which is 4. Go again the loop. Now we're talking about 6. Please print me value, which is now 6. Go again, 8, print me 8, and then print me 10. See, this is exactly the output over here. This is the value of the array before we change them. And this is the value of the modified array after we modified and changed the value of the array using the method. Right. Let's go back again. There is also very important lines in this code. Look over here. After this, please print me system.out.print, print effect of passing an array element, print this text, the string, before modifying the element array of ثلاثة. So I want you to print me this text, and after that, print for me how much or what is the element inside array of 3. Array of 3, this is 0, 1, 2, this is array of 3. Array of 3 has a value 8. So print me the value of 8. This is the line over here. So effect of passing array element value, array 3 before modifying is 8. This is exactly what I've done, just printing. Right. Then what? Then I want you to go and call this method that's called modify elements. And here, call the modify element method and take with you just one value of the array. Take with you the element inside 3. If you are taking the element of 3, what is going to be happening here? Sorry, let's make this smaller because I just want to make this a little bit bigger. I just want to make the memory a little bit bigger. Right. So go and take with you array the element in array 3. What is the element in index 3 is 8. Take 8 with you, just one element, to this method. What is this method? It's over here. So this method does not return anything, and it only receive one element, and the element of type int because I'm sending an int values. And please store it in something called element. So inside my memory, I'm gonna make a space or a variable that's called elements, and it has the value of 8. From where it got the 8? It got the 8 from the method called, because I've sent one element from my array. What happened here? You did not send a reference because you did not send the whole array, just send a one element. When you are sending a one element, you are sending a copy. See, the original value is 8, is still inside your original array, but you're sending a copy. This is a copy, and you call the copy elements. What did you do here? You said take element and multiply it by 2. So I took element and multiplied it by 2. 8 by 2 is 16. So 16. And then you want to print system.out.print, please print me the value of element. So now I'm printing element, which is 16. So value of element and modifying element is 16. Okay, please go back. Then after this, I'm going to this line over here after the method call. The method call, the line over here wants you to print system.out.print. Please print me array 3, just this is a text. Print array 3 after modifying the element. How much is the value in array of 3? And you just want to print the value in array at index 3. So the value of array at index 3 is 8. We did not change it. So it's 8. See? It's 8. Here, when you're sending the whole array, you're sending a reference, which means if you make a change in a method, you are also changing the original array. But when you are sending a copy, when you are sending one element of this array, then you are sending a copy exactly like what we did over here. So any change you make inside this method does not affect the original value of this element inside the array. This is why in Java, we have two ways of sending values in a method. We have pass by values and pass by reference. There are two ways to pass argument in a method call in many programming language. The the two most popular way are pass by value and pass by reference, and we use both when we are discussing this example over here. What does pass by value mean? Pass by value means when an argument is passed by value, it means that you are sending a copy of the argument value to the call method. You're just sending a copy of that variable. You're not sending the original value. So any change on the copy does not affect the original value. So the call method works exclusively with the copy. Any changes in the call method copy do not affect the original value, just like what we did when we send one value of the array. Another example is over here. I just wrote you another example to make this more clearer. I have two methods, a main and another method called change value. I have declared a variable here called number, a number of type int, and I have stored the value of 10 inside. Then I want you to call change value. Call this method that's called change value and take number with you. So please take number with you. So I'm calling this and I have 10 inside number. This over here, I'm creating another variable of the same type. Since number is integer, this needs to be integer as well. This is called x and it will receive a copy of number, which is 10. See, I'm receiving a copy. Since I'm receiving a copy, any change in the copy will not affect the original value. So inside here, I'm changing the value of x. X now, I want it to be 20. not 10 anymore. And then print me the value of x. The value of x is 20. This is the value of x. Finished with the method. I'm going to go back here. I have one more line. System.out.print. Please print me the value of number. The value of number is 10. The value of the original value, which is number, did not change because you sent a copy to the method. So this is pass by value. Pass by value means you are sending a copy and not affecting the original value. The pass by reference means when an argument is passed by reference. You are passing a reference, like what you've done with the array. You're passing just the address of the reference, means the address of this element in the memory. What does it mean for you? That any change to this argument inside the method will affect the original value. So the call method can access the argument value in the caller directly and change or modify the data if necessary. Why sometimes do we need this? Do we need pass by reference? Because it might improve the performance by eliminating the need to make a copy. Because every time, as I said, when you are passing an argument to a method, you are passing a copy. If you're making a lot of copies, then you are using a lot of memory, which might slow the performance of the program. If you're eliminating the copies by using pass by reference, sometimes it might speed the performance of your program. However, in Java does not let you allow doesn't allow you to choose between passing by reference or passing by value. It will always by default pass by value. Okay, when you are using methods, it will always pass by value, which means passing a copy by default, unless you are working with arrays. When you are working with arrays, as we said in the example, then you are passing by reference. If you are working with one element in array, then you are passing by value and passing a copy. So please make this clear. So just pay attention to the difference. Okay. Last thing we're going to talk about, which is the multi-dimensional array. Until now, we have learned about the array that just look like one line. Sorry, just a second. So until now, we have learned about the arrays that is just one dimensional. One dimensional means just it has one row or one column, whatever you want them. So one line of a data only. What about if I want a bigger array that is multi-dimensional, that will look more like a table? It has rows and it has a columns. So like this. Arrays that might look like this. It has rows and columns. This is called a multi-dimensional array. So multi-dimensional arrays, you can think of them like tables with rows and with columns. Here I have 3 rows, 1 2 3, and 4 columns, 4 أعمدة و3 صفوف. Two-dimensional array can be declared like this. Declaring two-dimensional array can be like this. If I'm declaring one-dimensional array, then I'm using this syntax. This means I'm declaring an array with 2 elements, and this is a one-dimensional array. If I'm declaring two-dimensional array, I'm using 2 brackets. This means my array will look like this: 2 rows and 2 columns. The first one always refer to the rows, and the second one always refer to the columns. It means that B will look like this: 2 columns and 2 rows. This is one way. Another way is that I might define like this, the multi-dimensional array like this. So int B and 2 brackets, and I initiate or I put the values inside the arrays. So what does that supposed to mean? it means that the first row inside my multidimensional array will hold 1 and 2, so 1 and 2, and the second row will hold the values 3 and 4. The first row will be you'll be put curly brackets, and the second row you will put also curly bracket. Between the elements you will have commas, and between the rows you will also have a commas. Okay, طيب. 1 and 2 initialize B00 and B01. So 1 and 2 means that the location here is we are at array B at row 0 and column 0. And here we are in B at row 0 and column 1. The column and the rows always start with 0. For 3 and 4, and here we are at B in the first row at second row at the first column. Here we are at the second row, second column, just like this. So every space or every index of the memory will have two numbers, 1 for the row and 1 for the column, and all of them will start from 0. What about this one? Int B, I have initiate the values inside of them is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you go, the first one is 1, 2, the second one is 3, 4, and 5, which means that the array will look just like this. And this is 0 over here, since there's no number over here. So row 0 will contain element 1 and 2, and row 1 will contain element 3, 4, and 5. If you want to learn about the indexes, this is index 0, column 0, row 0, column 1, row 0, column 2, row 1, column 0, row 1, column 1, and row 1, column 2. See? Easy peasy. Right. Exactly like this. So this array is a multidimensional array. It has 4 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 rows, 1, 2, 3. The indexes always start, as I said, from 0. Here, the array name is A. A to 1, meaning that I'm looking at the element at array A at row 2 and column 1. Always, I'm going to start with the row and then the column. So the first bracket always refer to the row, and the second bracket always refer to the column, and the name before them is just the array name. Easy. Let's take one example, and that's it. So I have defined here a multidimensional array, int array 1, and it has this element over here. So let's draw array 1. It has the first row has 1, 2, 3. The second row has 4, 5, and 6. This is the first array, and it's called array 1. Second array, this is the second array. It's called array 2. Okay, the first line or the first row has only 2 elements, 1 and 2. The second has only 1 element, which is 3. And the third has 3 elements, which is 4, 5, and 6. Just like this. Okay, fine. Let's see. Now, system.out.println, please print for me the values in array 1 by row. So I want to print the values inside the array. I want to see how can I deal or print out the values in a multi-dimensional array. So first, I'm printing this text. So value in array 1 by row. Then let me just take this. Then I'm calling a method. This method called output array, and I'm taking my array 1 as a reference. So I'm passing array 1 as a reference to the method that's called output array. So what is this method? This is the method over here. It will receive an int array. It's 2-dimensional, so I need 2 brackets, and I will call it array. As we explained in the earlier slide, it just refers to the same array, which is this array. So we're talking about this. Because we're here talking about arrays, so we are passing by a reference. So to deal with the 2-dimensional array, if you want to print out the element of it, you need not just one for loop, you need a nested loop, which is 4 inside another 4. Why? Because the first 4 will deal with the rows, and the second 4 will deal with the column of the array. So the first for loop will deal with the rows. So int row, let's define row over here, and the value of row now 0, because the indexes always start from 0, as long as row is less than array.length. How much is array.length? How much is the array of the length of the array? How much is how many rows inside this array? 2 rows. 2. So I want to the rows, I want to go through the 2 rows I have, and each row I want to go through all of the columns inside this row. So here is 2. Then على طول I'm going inside the next 4. So it's a nested loop. The next 4, which is inside the first 4. So the inner 4, I'm defining a column. So column 0. As long as column is less than array of row 0. Now row 0.length. So what's that supposed to mean? Array of 0. What is array of 0? Yeah, so array of 0.length is just asking about how many elements inside the row 0. So what is the length? The length, it just means how many elements do you have inside the first row. In the first row, I have 3 elements. So here it will return 3. So always think of it as how many elements inside the row, depending on which row are you in. We are now in the first row. Okay, so we know we're talking about 3 now. So let's go back and put this 3. So is 0 less than 3? Yes. So print for me array 0, and the column is now 0. So what is the value inside array 0 of 0? So this is 0, 0, which is 1. So print for me 1. So let's print it here. Now, as we learned with the nested loop, you don't go to the outer loop until you finish with the inner loop. So I'm going to go through the inner loop again. So inner loop again. Now, column will be increased by 1. 1 is still less than 3. So I'm going inside and print. Array, we're still in row 0, but the column will change, will be column 1. What is the value inside row 0, column 1 is 2. So I'm printing 2. Again, we're going to go again. Increased by 2. Is 2 less than 2? Yes. So please print for me the value inside array 0, column 2. What is the value? This is row 0, column 2, then the value is 3. Increase the column is now 3. Is it 3 less than 3? No, it's not. Then I will stop with the inner loop. I've stopped with the inner loop, going back to the outer loop now. So I am back to the outer loop. In the outer loop, I will increase the row by 1. So row now is 1, which means I'm going to go again to the inner loop. In the inner loop, we are starting the column all the way over. So defining column again, and column is 0. Now, as long as column is less than array of row dot length, we are now at row 1. So how many elements in row 1? There are 3 elements as well. So number 3 is here. So as long as 0 is less than 3, I will be keep looping inside the inner loop. Let's print. What is the element inside array? This time, row 1, column 0. This is row 1, column 0, then 4. What is, please don't forget this over here. Before we go to the outer loop, we will print a line, an empty line. Why an empty line? Because we want to go and print the new numbers, the new row, into a new line. So we're over here, 4. By finished, column will be increased by 1. As long as 1 is less than 3, please print for me what is in row 1 and column 1. This is the value in row 1, column 1, which is 5. Increase column now, column is 2. Print for me what's in array row 1 and column 2. This is row 1, column 2, which is 6. Increase by 3. Is it 3 less than 3? No. Print a new line. I printed a new line. Go back again to the 4. Increase the row. The row is now 2. Does 2 less than 2? No. I'm finished. I'm finished with this only. I was inside a method. Don't forget that I was inside a method. So the method helped me to print the value of the first array 1. Now I'm back over here. System.out.print, please print for me the text values in array 2 by row. So I printed this values in array 2 by row. And now I'm also going to go to this method output array. Have you seen why did we use this method that's called output array? So because I want to output the values of the multidimensional array, instead of putting writing this code multiple times, every time I need to print out the value of the array, of the multidimensional array. So I'm just gonna go and write it once inside the method, and whenever I want to print the values inside a multidimensional array, I will call this method. It will work with any multidimensional array. Okay, so again, now I want to go and print the values of array 1. We are doing exactly the same thing. We have defined an array that will go and be passed by reference. So it's going to reference the same space in memory that's containing array 2. Let's start the for loop. For, this is the row, and this is the column. Right. Row is equal to 0 as long as array.length. How many is rows inside this array 2? I have 3 rows, so array.length is 3. Right. Then going to start with the inner loop. Column is 0, so 0 over here. Then we are going to continue the loop as long as column is less than array row, which is array 0 dot length. So how many elements do I have in the first row of this array? I have 2 elements, so this is 2. So we'll start. First, I want you to print array row 0 column 0. This is array 0 0 1. So the value I'm printing is 1. Go back again and increase the column by 1. Is 1 less than 2? Yes. Then array 0 and column 1, and the value in array 0 column 1 is 2. So print for me 2. Increase column by 1. 2 is 2 less than 2. No, it's not. So I will stop over here. This line will make me print a new line. So I'm printing a new line and then go over the outer loop again. In the outer loop, I will increase the row by 1. As long as 1 is less than 3, then I'm going to go inside the loop again. Inside the loop, it means that the column will start all the way over. So column starting all the way over from 0 0. Bye. Go through the inner loop as long as array row dot length a column is less than array row dot length. It's just asking how many elements inside this row. How many elements? I only have 1 element. So the length here is just 1. So because I know I don't have any more elements in here. So this is why I'm asking about this. Right. Let's print array row. No, we are at row 1 column 0. The value at row 1 column 0 is 3. Increase column by 1. So is 1 less than 1? No. Then we have finished with the inner loop. We are printing a new line. So I'm printing a new line over here and going back all the way over to the outer loop. So increasing row by 1. Row is now 2. Is 2 less than 3? Yes, it is. Then I am going to start all the way again in the inner loop. Columns equal to 0. Yep. And here I'm asking about how many elements in the last row, which is row 2. In row 2, I have 3 elements. So dot length. This will make me print the 3 elements, which is 4, 5, and 6. Then this will make me print a new line and then go all the way over to the outer loop. In the outer loop, I'm increasing the row by 1. Row is now 3. Is 3 less than 3? No, it's not. Then I will stop here and go back all the way here, which will end the program. That's it. So the multi-dimensional array, you just need to put in your mind that if you want either to fill the values of the multi-dimensional array or print the values of it, you need 2 for loops. 1 to control the rows and 1 to control the columns. Try and do the programs using the Java compiler. Change a little bit in the values just to see what's going to happen. I hope everything is clear. If you have any questions, you can always reach and ask. Okay? Thank you for listening.